saw I texted Doug?
Yeah. All right, you are listening to the JMB Sports Podcast on the YouTube, Facebook Live application on this Wednesday, March 26, 2025. And we got a lot to get to today as we are getting closer and closer to MLB opening day. Well, technically, it already started with the Dodgers and the Cubs in Tokyo. That was only 2 games, but the real season starts tomorrow as the Yankees take on the Brewers, and the Mets are in Houston to take on the Astros.
Yes.
So, I'm thinking about the opening day. I just realized that Juan Soto is going to start opening day in the same cities that he did last year and this year.
Yeah.
I just realized that as maybe this is going to be a fun season, John.
It surely is, Brandon.
So let's get to your Mets.
Yes.
What do you expect them to do this year in terms of, do you think they'll win the division? Do you think they'll get a wild card? Do you think they're, how are they going to do overall, you think?
I would think at worst like top 2 wild card. I think the Phillies pitching is too good. Since you already had Wheeler, you had Nola, you had Suarez, they added Luzardo from Miami.
What's up, boys?
What's up, Douglas?
How you guys doing today? You hear me?
Yes.
We have Doug joining us from the Doug Saravo Show. Is once again back as a guest here on the J&B Sports Podcast. And welcome, Doug. How are you?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me.
What were you saying, John, about the Mets?
So I don't think they will win this division. That the Phillies pitching definitely improved with Luzardo coming over, even though he did not look good in his spring outings, but you can have a terrible spring and have like an MVP year. But I think they're going to finish ahead of the Braves and finish with the Phillies. But the Phillies will take the East, and we might get an LDS rematch after the wild card series this year. I think they get back to the championship series, but lose to the Dodgers again.
Doug, what are your thoughts on the on your Mets this year?
I think they have a great chance to win the World Series this year. I truly do. My only question mark for them is their pitching staff. A lot of injuries, but it's just a matter who's going to step up. We saw it last year. A lot of guys stepped up. So it just varies. That's my really question mark for the New York Mets this year. Who's going to step up?
Do you think Vientos is the real deal? I mean, we saw him break out last year in the playoffs. He hit the big grand slam against the Dodgers in LA. I think he's going to be he's legit. Now, we've seen players who had a breakout season, but then turned out to be nothing great. But I think Vientos is going to turn out to be a consistent star in this league.
Yeah, I think Mark is a good athlete. He could hit the ball. He has power. But for me, I think what's going to be the difference maker for the New York Mets is that second base position. What are you going to get from Jeff McNeil? Who's going to fill that gap when Jeff is struggling? That's the key difference maker for me. I think Mark Vientos is the real deal, so I'm not really too much worried about him.
Yeah, and there's gonna be question marks going into the season for both the Yankees and the Mets. But in terms of the lineup the Mets have, they have I think a more consistent lineup than the Yankees do. They have balance, they have power, and I think they're going to be. I think you're on the money. I think they're going to go to the World Series. Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, anything could happen. You know, I think Soto's going to have like 30 to 35 home runs this year. I think it was smart that the Mets re-signed Alonso. I think they needed to do that after that season, after the postseason he had last year. Big homer against the Brewers. That really got Met fans to be like, hey, we need to keep Alonso.
Yep.
But I think, with Vientos, Lindor, even guys like Winker, I look at Winker and I'm like, this guy reminds me of like a mini Bryce Harper a little bit. He looks like him a little bit. He's got like that style. So I think they I think in the playoffs we saw the emergence of some of these new players. The emergence of these consistent players. So we'll see as the season gets started tomorrow in Houston. And I was just telling John before the show started, I just realized that Juan Soto starting the season last year and this year at the same place in Houston. I just realized that today. So I think the Mets will get off to a good start. Hopefully, it's a long season. But we'll see how the season progresses.
Yes.
So what do you guys think of the Yankees going into this year? The Yankees have a lot of question marks.
I think they're going to miss the playoffs. That rotation is a disaster. That rotation is a joke. Think about it. Who do they really have? The New York Yankees. And when you look at their rotation, a bunch of no-names. Will Warren? Like, really, who's Will Warren? Besides Will Warren, I think Carlos Carrasco's in that fifth spot. There's a lot of no-names on the Yankees rotation. And they also signed a lot of old guys. Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt. This Yankees team, they ain't making a postseason run. They're not going back to the World Series. This Yankees team is a disaster. They truly are. On paper, at least.
I totally agree. I think a lot of fans are just down on the team after Soto left. And they're just, they're down because Cole's out for the season. Fried's going to have to step up and be Fried that we saw in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Yankees will win 90 games. I just don't think they're going to, even if they make the playoffs, I just don't see them winning the first round. I just don't. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think the Yankees, if you bet over-unders, I think the Yankees win over 90 games, or at least 90 at 90. I think it's about 90, 91 wins they probably have. Nowhere more than that, I don't think. I think 90 to 91 wins they'll win. I think the Mets will win more games than the Yankees. I think they have a better team overall, way better team overall. But the Yankees took a big hit. And, with no Cole this year, and Stanton might be out for the season. So the Yankees are going to have question marks, a lot of question marks, and we still don't have a leadoff hitter. Austin Wells is going to be the leadoff hitter, but that's the thing. Do you really want a catcher being your leadoff hitter? It hasn't really been done in Yankee history before.
Yeah, and look at that Yankees team for a minute, Brandon. This team is a joke. Honestly, they're not that good. And I'm being realistic. They're not that good.
They're old. They're older. They're an older team.
They're very old. They're not the old time. They're not the guys they brought in. They're not the old guys they brought in. Stanton is not himself. Paul Goldschmidt is in his late 30s. J.J. LeMahieu has declined, and he declined fast. Cody Bellinger hasn't been himself. Who's their third baseman? Oswaldo Cabrera?
I believe it's Chisholm.
Shortstop, you got Anthony Volpe. Left field, Jason Dominguez. This team is not a playoff team. And I know everyone's going to call me the Yankee hater, but they're just delusional. This Yankees team, it's a complete different roster compared to last year. And if you look at the rotation, this is what I mean. Are you really scared of this rotation? Carlos Rodon, he's been inconsistent. Max Fried, okay, he's decent. Marcus Stroman, he's inconsistent. A lot of drama from him. Will Warren, never even heard of that guy. Carlos Carrasco, he's been up and down in his career. Then you got Cole injured. You got Gill injured. So if you're looking at this Yankee team on paper, how can you say they're going to the playoffs realistically? How can you sit down and look in the mirror and say the New York Yankees are a playoff team when you have the Baltimore Orioles, you have the Boston Red Sox, you got the Tampa Bay Rays who's going to have a healthier pitching staff this year. You got the Cleveland Guardians, you got the Detroit Tigers and Kansas City Royals on the rise. You're always going to have the Houston Astros. You have the Seattle Mariners who are not a bad team. And you got the Texas Rangers. So if we're sitting here and we're going to say the Yankees are the best team in the American League, I don't care who you are. You are delusional and you are out of your mind. Realistically, this Yankees team, if you're looking at them on paper, as we have up here now, I don't see how they're going to be a playoff team. I really do not see it. That rotation is weak. And I know I'm going to have a lot of lightweights and a lot of losers say, oh, you're just a Yankee hater. No. Look at the roster on paper. This ain't that same Yankee team from a year ago. It just isn't.
Totally agree. The one, Soto leaving, going to the Mets, changes everything for the Yankees. And this is going to mean we have to go to the farm system, and we're going to have to develop players because now we have to kind of rebuild. But I don't think I don't think getting older players like Goldschmidt and Bellinger is going to help this team going forward. They're going to have to develop. And I think Dominguez is going to be a really good hit. I think he's going to be a really good star in this league. He's a
look at Carlos Carrasco's numbers. I understand he has had his health issues, and we appreciate his fight and congratulate him for fighting it. But look at these numbers over the last few years of his career. His ERA is over 3. The year with the Mets was a disaster. 604, 397, 680, and then he goes back to Cleveland, 564.
And don't forget, he's going back to hair-friendly Yankee Stadium now.
Marcus Stroman, I see the guy as a distraction. So I don't understand what the Yankees did this offseason. Everyone said, oh, we made these great moves. We brought in Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt. Big whoop-de-doo. Paul Goldschmidt is 37, 38. Cody Bellinger has been on a decline. Come on.
Yeah, they're good players, but you know what? It's not the way to go about this. They need to figure out a way to get into that farm system and develop players as quick as possible. And I think Rice is going to be pretty good. He showed you last year he could hit homers. Dominguez, he could hit homers. But this team has to figure out a way to stay healthy also. And you can't lose Judge. He's going to have to hit. If the Yankees want to make the playoffs, he's going to have to hit probably 45 to 50 homers. He means that much to this team. And, hopefully Stanton can come back and play sometime this year. If not, hopefully if they do make the playoffs, he would come back for that. But we just got to take this 1 month at a time and see and just April's always a slower month in terms of like, players are not at their peak level yet, as it would be in July or August. But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to take the Yankees got question marks to figure out more than the Mets. So we'll take this 1 month at a time, and we'll see by Memorial, because Memorial Day is usually the first part where you actually analyze the baseball season, and then you got July 4th weekend where you see the progress of these teams, and then obviously September Labor Day. So we'll give this time for the Yankees to kick in, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, so you guys want to see my American League baseball, my American League teams for the playoffs this year? All right. So you'll see I did put the Yankees in there, but I think these teams are going to make a run. I truly do. All right, so let's get to my AL playoff teams. Why do you guys are something else? Funny though.
I can't see what you're gonna post up. Actually, maybe I can.
You could if you go on the YouTube link, which is live. All right, so we're gonna start with number 1.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Let me get
And they ultimately win the American League East. We're going with Tampa. I'm kidding. No, I'm going with the young and rising team. That is the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, Baltimore won.
I think Baltimore could win that division and have home field advantage in the playoffs.
Okay, you have the Rangers at 2.
And that's the thing. People don't realize how young and how good this Baltimore Orioles team is.
Nah, yeah, they're really good. They are. They got some talent on that. A lot of talent.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I got the Texas Rangers in 2. I think for the Houston Astros, losing Alex Bregman is going to affect them.
You shit on me for having Boston, and you have them at 4.
Because I like the moves they made, but I'm just saying we say it year in and year out, and they end up disappointing everybody.
Okay,
am I right or am I wrong?
No, but they could definitely make a jump. But
they can, but they always disappoint
3
everybody.
Tigers. So you have the same team, just minus the Indians.
Yeah, minus Cleveland.
So, Indians, you put
minus the Astros.
So. Oh yeah, the Astros were in last year. So then you put in the Rangers.
So we put in Baltimore.
And the Rangers.
We put in Texas. We put in
That's
Boston.
It. Boston was in last year.
No, they weren't.
Not Boston.
Boston was out.
Boston and the Rangers were both the same different teams.
Yeah.
Baltimore was in.
So there's a lot of good teams out there that's going to miss the playoffs, but I just don't see the Yankees getting in with all the injuries and the older bats they have.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. The Yankees just have too many injuries going on. It's, the Cole one hurts a lot. That one hurts a lot. And, we'll just have to take it. Somebody else will have to step up. And if they can't step up, the Yankees are not going to make the playoffs.
Like you could have went after a Bregman. You could have went after a Snell. There was a lot of good free agents this year. The Yankees just didn't pivot the right way.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, baseball season gets started tomorrow as the Yankees start with the Brewers at the stadium, and then the Mets take on the Astros down in Houston.
Now, what are you guys doing tomorrow for opening day?
Tomorrow for
Work.
opening day. I don't know.
Because at 3 p.m., Dougie and Just will be live at Molly's Public House.
You will be.
Yes, we will.
Very nice. Very nice.
So you guys are more than welcome to come and support Survivor Broadcasting and all those involved with Survivor Broadcasting.
Thank you very much, Dougie. Definitely check out Molly's Public House. Visit Survivor Broadcasting and the Doug Sarava and the Survivor Broadcasting group. They do a great job. They do great work. So definitely pop out to Molly's Public House in Manalapan, New Jersey to support them.
Thank you, Brandon.
You also send your emails to the jbpodcast@yahoo.com. You can send your emails to the jbpodcast@yahoo.com. So that's baseball. So we'll get to this. We'll get to some NCAA basketball now. So we got some big Sweet 16 games tomorrow, especially at Dougie's favorite arena.
Yeah, Prudential Center.
We
And I thought about going, but we're gonna take it easy tomorrow. They give out a package. I think it's $400 for every game.
Something like that.
Yeah, you get like 4 games, and it's $400.
You know who's actually going, Doug? Giacomo.
That's not bad.
I think last I looked, just for their game, it's like $250. Cheapest ticket.
Not bad. Well, Giacomo's got the cash.
Yeah.
So let's get to the games tomorrow. We have 4 games tomorrow. We got leading off for the 7:09 game. You got who do you have? BYU against Alabama. Who do you guys think is going to win that one?
You want to go first, Doug, or you want me to go first?
I'm going with Alabama.
Alabama. I'm going to go with Alabama too. I think Alabama's just so much more aggressive when it comes to shooting the basketball. I think they're a really good shooting team. Youngblood has turned out to be a really good player. Sears is always consistent. They're really well coached under Nate Oates.
So we have some breaking news on the JMB podcast.
Breaking news.
Shortly after signing with the Giants, quarterback Russell Wilson reached out to wide receiver Jalen Hyatt and told him he has talent that has been untapped.
Wow.
Interesting.
All right, so the other game we got is Arizona and Duke. That's at 9:39. That's going to be a great game.
Yep.
I think Arizona has a chance. Duke is just really good. Duke. I think Duke's going to win the whole thing, but Arizona has a chance here.
I think Duke wins this. I think Arizona's overrated. I just don't see Arizona beating them. I really don't. There's just something about Duke that when they get on, they get on. I don't know. I can't see Arizona beating them. I don't like Duke, but there's just something about them where they end up getting hot at the right time.
Right. Like if Arizona's going to want to win this game, they're going to have to get Duke off to a slow start. If they get off to a hot start, they're not winning that game.
I agree.
It's going to be very tough, and we've seen a lot of these games that way. Whoever gets off to the hot start is going to win the game. Or we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of those games. That's how college basketball works, and in NBA too. It works like that. You get off to a hot start, you have a good chance of winning the game.
And I just have a question for John.
Yeah.
Are you shy?
No.
Are you sure about that, buddy?
Why, Douglas?
Because it feels like it's just Puggy and Swartz.
I think he's in the corner. That's why.
Yes.
But yeah, we got some great games at the Prudential. Actually, these games at the Prudential Center are really good. Arizona, BYU, Alabama, those are great games.
But I would love to see Florida win it all.
I think it's going to be. You think it's going to be Florida Duke?
What could be better than to see Ohio State win the national championship, along with my Florida Gators winning a national championship? What could be better, baby?
Gators got a great team. Clayton's turned out to be some player.
Yeah, and think about people seem to forget how good the Gators once were. Remember the glory old days with Al Horford, Corey Brewer. Who else was on that team?
Wasn't David Lee on that team?
He might have. Joakim Noah. Florida has had some good teams, so I'm hoping they pull through.
Yeah, but Maryland has a good team, and they're
Yeah, and in one of my brackets, I have Maryland playing Duke.
I think the coach of Maryland is really good. He, former Seton Hall coach. He's really good. He knows how to work his team well. I think Queen's a good. He's turned out to be a solid player. He hit the big game winner against Colorado State the other night.
Best game of the weekend last week. I think.
100%.
Did we ask? John, did we ask you?
Don't be mean, Doug.
I'm being honest. Did we ask you?
Go sit in the corner, Doug.
I'm just messing with you. John, you're so easy to mess with.
So I just want to ask you guys your thoughts on Andrew's triple 10 presentation the other day.
What's the triple 10 presentation?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, what is it for? What's the triple 10?
It's the he did it's like this thing for like you can make like $100,000 a year.
Oh, with Adriana James?
No,
Yeah.
It's the triple 10. It's like a program he signed up for.
Look, here's the thing about Andrew. Andrew falls for scams easily. We've known it. We've seen it. So I'm not surprised that he's trying this Triple H thing, whatever it's called.
Hope it works out though.
I hope it works out.
Yeah. It will work out in the corner.
In the corner.
In the corner in Texas.
But yeah, so we got those two games, and then you got those three
Can't
games,
stop laughing at Andrew. Triple H.
and then you got a great game. Arkansas, John Calipari's Arkansas Razorbacks against Texas Tech. That's at 10:09 on Thursday.
Hmm.
I think Arkansas wins that one. What about you guys? I like John Calipari, so I'm gonna go with Calipari's Razorbacks.
I'm going to Arkansas.
Yeah.
I'll go Arkansas too. They're hot right now.
And then Friday, 7:09, you got Ole Miss and Michigan State.
Ole Miss.
John,
I'm gonna go Michigan State.
Michigan State. I'm gonna go. I think Ole Miss. Ole Miss has shown me in this tournament that they could actually be like. I didn't think Ole Miss was going to beat North Carolina because North Carolina's got talent. I didn't think they were going to beat North Carolina, but it actually.
Well, let's just put it this way. The thing with this tournament is there's no clear-cut favorite.
There isn't.
There's no clear-cut favorite, and I think that's the best part about this one this year.
That's what makes the tournament fun is when you don't have a clear-cut favorite, anybody could win it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be Arizona, it could be Alabama, it could be Maryland, it could be any of these teams.
It can be, and I think that's the best part.
That's what makes it even better than having a favorite every year. Like last year, we had a favorite in UConn, and they
Let's hold on. Let's just put it this way. I think we all knew UConn was going to win.
100%. So we knew they were going to the championship last year and win it all. But they had a great team. And they had a good team this year. They almost beat Florida. That was a great game. They just fell short, but you know what? They still had a good team this year, and they could have beat Florida. They just fell short at the wrong time.
Back to that though, Brandon. Did you see the weird coincidence with UConn's streak that ended with their loss to Florida?
What was that?
Did you see the weird coincidence about their streak?
No.
It started against Iona with Walter Clean on their team and ends against Florida with Walter Clean.
Right.
I saw that as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
Back when he was at Iona.
Oh, who was at Iona?
Walter Clean, he started at Iona.
Oh, he did. Oh, right. Okay.
And that's who UConn started their 13-game win streak in the tournament against.
Kentucky, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Kentucky.
I'm gonna go with Kentucky also. Michigan, Auburn.
Auburn.
I'm feeling Auburn too.
To make it fun, I'm gonna go Michigan.
Well,
I'm
Doug,
gonna,
did you hear
I'm gonna go
about-
Michigan on this one. This way we didn't have to all pick the same pick. I'm gonna go Michigan for the hell of it.
Doug, did you hear the stupidity we had going on the last show?
Which was what?
That we did the bracket for fun, and he kept picking Alabama State.
That's the way Brandon is. Brandon likes to. How do I say it nicely? Honestly, Brandon, how do I say it nicely? Brandon likes to be funny. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
He'd like to be funny in the corner.
And the thing with Brandon is he likes to prank people. And I've been getting a few text messages the last few days. So I wonder, is it Brandon Schwartz up to his antics again?
Nope.
It'd be possible.
It's not.
Could be
Or
Tony.
Tony was flip
Yeah.
phone.
What were the text saying?
Stupid shit.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
John?
What?
Who did you pick?
About what, Doug?
Who did you pick?
I just lost track of what we're talking about.
Who did you pick?
And the one that we were doing for fun,
Yeah, who did you pick?
to win the whole thing.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, this has been a great show. I gotta run.
Well, who did he pick? I want to know who he picked.
We picked Duke to win the whole thing over
We
Alabama
picked Duke
State.
and Alabama State to win to go to the championship, and we picked Duke to win the whole thing.
Yeah, those are Brandon's antics.
Yeah.
Alabama State?
Yeah.
See what I mean? He likes to be funny.
Yeah, don't you know he's a child, Doug?
Alabama State, a 16 seed?
I was just because I wanted to just joke around, you know.
Yeah, see what I mean, John?
Yeah.
Brandon tries to be funny when you're trying to have a serious conversation.
And watch, we probably could have made money if he was seriously picking.
Yeah, come on, Brandon.
Oh, if it was a serious bet, I would have picked a legit contender. But
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I hear Tony was helping him pick.
Wait, so why were you about to end the show? Brandon, you there?
hello. I got
on anymore, Doug.
my phone's gonna die, so
Your phone or laptop?
I'm just kidding. My phone's not gonna die. All right, so the NCAA we got the,
What's going on?
no. These people here are crazy.
Where, your house or at work?
My house, yeah. And there's no way I'm posting this show on Facebook.
Why not? We just did this for nothing?
No. I'll cut this part out if I could,
Why?
because I don't want people knowing about this stuff. You know,
What do you mean this stuff?
the Brandon Schwartz antics.
I'm just saying you like to be funny in serious times. Alabama State?
I hear they still can win it all, Doug.
Alabama State of all teams to pick? I can understand if you pick St. John's. Alabama State?
St. John's was actually my serious pick.
I'm not laughing at you as a person. I'm laughing at you when you do certain things. Alabama State. A 16 seed. When do you see a 16 seed go to the championship game?
I think he was drunk.
Alabama State, they're a great team. But we'll see. It's going to be a great Sweet 16. The heavyweights are in.
Wait, so is this going on Facebook?
Yeah, it will. It will.
Yeah, I wasn't making fun of you. I'm just saying I don't understand why you picked Alabama State. Like, what's the reason behind it? To be funny, or?
You think he is funny, Doug?
No, Bram, I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you. Why did you pick Alabama State?
Because I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to. I don't know why.
To be funny?
Yeah.
Doug, you want me to actually bring up the bracket?
Yeah, can we see the bracket? Yeah, bring up the bracket. I want to see what he did. Let's see who they beat. Let's see who Alabama State beat to get there.
Let me present this.
See, Brandon took it out as I was making fun of him.
No.
You did this to yourself. Like, I could understand, like, if you put, like, a 12 seed, but a 16 seed. What is this bracket?
Look at that, Doug.
Who did they beat? All right, go all the way down. Let's see. That's the real life one.
Yeah.
All right, go back. Let's see. Where's Alabama State?
Top left.
Okay. There's no way they were going to beat Auburn, first of all. Then they had to play Creighton. Then Michigan. Brandon.
Yep. Well, I gotta say, guys, I regret my Alabama State pick.
Yeah, but why?
They were awful in the first round. They were terrible. I wasn't even close.
No shit, Sherlock. I wouldn't have picked them either.
Yeah.
Brandon, go sit in the corner.
I am in the corner.
Go sit in the other corner then.
Well, listen, guys, this was a great show. I like the jokes we made towards the end.
So, like, this is good, and I've been podcasting for a long time, Brandon, and no one podcasts the way I podcast. No one wants to sit down and just listen to a sports show all day. Realistically. Sometimes you gotta throw the digs, sometimes you gotta have the jokes, the conversations. Why do you think Craig Carton was so great at what he did? Why do you think some of these broadcasters are so great at their job? Because, you know, they have fun with one another. Like, look at the conversation you just had over Alabama State.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Like, don't take it personal.
No, yeah. Jokes are a big, important part of podcasting.
Brandon, I hear you're going to an Alabama State game next year.
Yep, Alabama State all the way. Maddox is a great coach.
I find that pretty funny.
Yeah. But you think I'm the only one that picked Alabama State? I'm sure a lot of people picked Alabama State to go to the second round.
You're the only one, Brandon.
I'm sorry, Brandon, but no one else did.
You should have bet $1 on it.
No one else did.
Well, maybe next year. They'll try again next year.
Just don't get me involved in the bracket.
Yeah. You have any final thoughts?
So here's what I want to talk about, and where I want to rant. All right, Brandon, can you just put me on the screen for this?
Sure.
All right.
Just you?
Yeah, just me. So, one of the things that is a pet peeve for me, I want to say it's a pet peeve, but the thing that I find the most annoying, or the thing that I find so delusional, if you want to say, is why do people, and this ain't about Brandon or John. What I don't understand is like why people are nuts. Like, I do not understand this whole drama between Stephen A., LeBron, and his son. Like, I get the whole big deal of LeBron playing with Bronny. But at the same time, LeBron has to understand that the only reason why his son is a Los Angeles Laker is because he is there. LeBron got his son there. The Lakers drafted Bronny as a favor to LeBron. If Bronny had the last name Schwartz, or he had the last name Giordano, or he had the last name Saravo, he would not have been drafted to the Lakers. Like, I don't know what Stephen A. said to LeBron. I don't know what LeBron said to Stephen A. But at the end of the day, LeBron has to understand that there's going to be heat thrown at him. Even when I do my show with Dougie and the boys, and I have arguments all the time, me and Big Dave go up against Jonathan Ramirez. The reason why Bronny is there is not because he is a good NBA player. He is there because of his father being LeBron James. Let's put it out there. That's the only reason why Bronny got drafted. Like, people are nuts and delusional to think Bronny James is this special, talented athlete. I'm sure he is. His father is one of the greatest of all time. But we have to stop ignoring the fact that the only reason why Bronny got drafted is because of his father being a Laker. If he truly had talent, don't you think other teams would have drafted Bronny James? Don't you think that? Come on. And I guarantee you, whether it's this year or next year, when LeBron does in fact retire, and I'm not taking anything away from his great career, Bronny James will be irrelevant and he won't be in the league anymore. That's just how I feel. That's the only reason why Bronny James is there, because of his dad. Brandon, you could end the show. I finished. All right, guys, I guess it's still the JMB podcast, but I'm the host. Yeah. I don't...
Guys.
What is going on? But yeah, that's how I feel about the Stephen A. LeBron situation. The whole thing is nuts, but at the end of the day, LeBron has to understand that his son got there because of him.
I totally agree. I listened to everything you said. It was totally right.
Like, if his last name was Schwartz or Giordano or Saravo or Brem, he's not getting drafted. Realistically. He got same thing with there's another player that's drafted. Same thing with Shedeur Sanders. I could go on about Shedeur Sanders. Come on, if his last name was not Sanders, I do not think he would be talked about like he's been talked about. Realistically, I do not think Shedeur Sanders... I don't think Shedor's a franchise guy. I don't think he could lead a team for 15 to 20 years. I really don't. He's talented, but I truly believe that the reason why he's there is because of Dion. Like, I truly believe that. I don't know how you guys feel, but I believe Shedor's there because of his dad. Great young quarterback, but I just don't think he could be a guy that could lead an organization for 15 to 20 years. I just don't see it. That's why I'm kind of glad that the New York Giants signed Russell Wilson, because he'll make them a lot better. I'm glad they have Jameis Winston. You could get a quarterback next year. Maybe you get Archie. I don't know. Maybe you get someone in the second round and then you cut DeVito. But this whole thing with Stephen A. LeBron, it like got blown up. Like, I understand LeBron has to defend his son, but at the same time, people do not People do not realize that. Like people like seem to ignore that one fact that he's there because Bronny's there because of LeBron. Like let's put that there plain and simple.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm just curious, guys. Did you guys hear somebody in the background say, "Put your seatbelt on"?
Yeah, because I think you're in the car.
Yeah, I'm heading to the bank. I got to get some money for next week. So,
Were you gonna rob the bank?
yeah. But this has been a great show, guys. Not the way I expected it to go. Um, but it was kind of funny in the last 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, this is how we used to do our shows during COVID, Brandon, if you remember. We would do our like sports segment and political segment given the updates of COVID. And then the last hour or two we would just talk about whatever.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. This was a great show. We got a lot to get to in the next few weeks, and especially we got the NHL and NBA playoffs starting in a few weeks. So that should be fun. Knicks could win a playoff. Knicks could clinch a playoff berth tonight if they win against the Clippers tonight, or a Hawks loss. So that would be nice if the Knicks could clinch a playoff berth and be locked in for the top 6 seeds. We'll see how it progresses. But the Knicks are definitely they're going to the playoffs for sure. The seeding is locked, pretty much.
Yeah.
If the season ended today, they'd play the Detroit Pistons in the first round, which would be nice.
But yeah, Brandon, thanks for hosting this show. It was funny.
It was a funny show. It wasn't like a typical straight up sports show. We made some jokes on it, you know.
Yeah,
This show has been brought to you by Andrew Brem's Triple 10 program.
From the corner.
From the corner.
And Tony's flip phone.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm gonna go have some dinner. I appreciate being a guest on your show. As you know, I'm not really talking sports that much on my channel. We're collaborating with my partner, Unsolicited Role Models. The role models you may not want, but you may just need. We're doing shows with them every Saturday. I'm shifting into the political swing, so that's where my network is going. More political, more just talking about things, daily life. So, thanks again, Brandon.
Thank you, guys. You all have a great weekend, and we'll talk next week about the recap. We'll recap the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, and we'll before you know it, we'll have our Final Four for the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then, Brandon, make sure you put your seatbelt on. All right.
And don't sit in the corner.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. Good night.
Good night.